The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 9th day of July, 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Happy Tuesday, folks. Happy Tuesday. It's a great day to be a Tuesday, huh? I woke up excited. Did you all watch anything real cool last night? I did. I watched Katrina and Mr. Photogenic and Karen Simmons on Bermuda Trivia last night, and it was a time. It was a time. It was, man, I was a proud Bermudian last night watching them in action. Bermuda Trivia, the game show, was launched. It was really, really fun. So if you haven't watched it yet, plan for next Monday, episode 2, and get your popcorn ready, your family. And you can have some debates with your family about what you think the answers are. But big props and credit to Katrina and Mr. Photogenic doing their thing on screen. And congrats to Karen Simmons as well. Congrats to contestant Karen Simmons. And I wish her the best going forward. I'll leave it at that. All right, folks. It is Tuesday, July 9th, as I said. Greetings to you all, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Rashida, Godwin of Titan Tours. We're going to be discussing the Mary Prince tours that they do. The daily play is a remember when, so a bit of history. We'll go through history. Not sure if I have a question, but you can see I don't have anyone here with me today, so whoever gets the answer will be eligible for this week's prize. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right. Well, let's get to it, folks. Let's get to today's conversation. Suzanne Ingham says, awesome Tuesday, Jamel and Maya, and an awesome Tuesday to you, Miss Suzanne. Charles H. Jeffs II says, I watched it. I felt bad for Karen. That question was hard. I have no idea what Charles is talking about. Nothing on Bermuda Trivia is hard, you know. It's common knowledge, as someone told me. Oh, I know that. And then they didn't know it, right? All right, so let's get into today's conversation. So just want to... I found this interesting because Teo and myself, I believe it was on this show a couple weeks ago, we were talking about Bermuda's national heroes. And it was just amazing how we live in a community where we really don't celebrate people till they're no longer here to receive it, right? And I said, you know, I think the saddest thing about Bermuda's national heroes is that they were all, you know, outside of Sir John, no one was honored while they were living, right? And you know, Teo seemed to agree. And then I read the newspaper yesterday, the Royal Gazette, and it's titled, No More Living National Heroes Under New Bill. And in this article, it goes on to say new legislation would stop living Bermudians being made national heroes and allow the removal of anyone bringing the rule into dispute. The proposed changes, if approved by the House and Senate, would only allow posthumous nominations for the honor, rendering Sir John the first and last living national hero. Now, as I read that, or you read that and you hear that, there's only one person that's been made a national hero while living that, I guess for political reasons, maybe bring the rule into dispute. Just saying, this sounds kind of like it's aimed at someone. I could be wrong. But anyway, it goes on to say the amendments would also open the door for the honor to be revoked if it was determined that someone named a national hero had engaged in a manner that would bring the honor into disrepute. However, a spokesman for the Ministry of Tourism, Culture, and Sport said last night that the mechanism for removal had nothing to do with politics and that many other views would be incorrect. Any other view would be incorrect and unfortunate. Well, the ministry clarifies new procedure for national heroes, says striking a national hero from Bermuda's list would come after rare situations where a significant blemish on the record was investigated by the Naming and Recognition Committee, followed by a recommendation to cabinet. A ministry spokeswoman said setting in as a posthumous award was in keeping with the overall tenor of the new act, which was brought forward to ensure that the selection of a national hero is driven by established standards and attributes rather than influenced by any set of current events or political circumstances that may not stand the test of time. She added, furthermore, it would be noted that the bill specifically confirms the status of those existing national heroes and as such named Sir John Swan, thus confirming his designation in the new law. Public confidence in the national hero selection process is essential to successfully maintain the order of the heroes as a symbol of exceptional excellence selected by the purpose of enduring national pride. All right, so all that said, folks, all that said, here's your question. What are your thoughts on not recognizing and honoring our living heroes? But before we even get there, do you agree with only allowing posthumous nominations for Bermuda's national heroes? What that means is only honoring people who have perished, who have died, who have passed away. What are your thoughts on this? Is this, first off, I mean, respectfully, I thought that we would have more important things to be talking about in cabinet and as far as legislation and policies. I'm not quite sure how something like this improves the well-being of the general public. But since we're here, I think it's necessary for us to talk about it. Do you agree with allowing only allowing posthumous nominations for Bermuda's national heroes? What are your thoughts? Yes or no, folks? What are your thoughts? Yes or no? And then what are your thoughts on not recognizing and honoring living heroes? Like, again, as I said a couple of weeks ago, and Taylor and I were having a conversation, it's like, why are we so comfortable giving people their flowers after they perished? Why are we so comfortable like honoring people once they're gone? Like, shouldn't they be the least we can do is allow them to receive it? No, let me say this. Before we even go there is something of this that I actually agree with. There is something of this I actually agree with. And that is that if you've watched the United States over the last 5 years, you've seen statues torn down. You've seen things renamed because, as they said, further investigation showed that this person may have not aligned, right? There are things that may be found out decades, maybe centuries later about some people that may tarnish. You see, what's the guy, the rapper Diddy, P. Diddy. I think New York just took its key back. Howard gave the money. Like, there are things that may come out about someone. I'm not saying that will be the case, but it happens. I'm just trying to give you instances of where this happens. It has happened. So what are your thoughts? Do you agree with only allowing posthumous nominations for Bermuda's national heroes? Manuela John says no. Nicole Hassel says, no, I do not agree. They are changing the rules because Sir John is very outspoken. Well, it seems that way. It seems that way. Michelle White says, give flowers while they are alive. Marquita Lee says, no. Dr. Roselda Severin says, no, it's wildly weird. No, it's, madam, it's so weird to me because I'm just like, why is this top of mind? Obviously, again, I agree it seems aimed at Sir John, but I'm happy to be corrected. I'm happy to be corrected. Keep them coming, audience. Do you agree? Because again, I thought it would be the opposite. That we would want to honor people while they're living. We would want to show them appreciation for what they've given to us, what they've done for our community. I think it's pretty much insane without knowing any more. Suzanne Ingham says, what is the point of a national hero after they are dead? If it was military, for example, I could understand. I'm with you, Suzanne Ingham. My hope is that we can get an explanation that actually makes sense. And when I say make sense, it's not that we agree with the answer, but you can prove to us that it's not political. Kathy Ann Painter says no regarding posthumous nominations. If we consider someone esteemed enough to consider them a national hero, why do we have to wait until they are no longer alive to show gratitude? I agree. I concur. I agree. Charles H. Jeffers II, he's asking, where did this come from? Did I miss the public outcry for only dead people to be recognized? Yeah, I mean, was this something that people were on the doorsteps talking about? Is this something that people were, writing and emailing about? Oh, we only want to honor posthumous people as our national heroes. Like, was this? How did this come to be? I agree with you. Again, question of the morning. What are your thoughts on not recognizing and honoring our living heroes? There's a report in the Royal Gazette yesterday that the government is moving towards legislation to only do posthumous national hero nominations and recognitions. So that means Sir John Swan would be the first and last national hero who was living, which is crazy because, again, we speak so much about giving people their flowers while they're here. But yet this would be the total opposite. One would think that being named the national hero of the country you've given so much to and that you love would be something that you would want to be around to experience and share with the people who are honoring you, right? I'd love more from the ministry on this because what I'm reading in the Royal is that I'm just not, again, it's not making sense to me. But like I just said, you have seen instances where people have had their honors taken from them. P. Diddy, the most recent one. You've seen many people with racist histories and past in the United States over the last 5 to 10 years. Statues being torn down, things renamed. People no longer seen as we were taught about them in history. So I kind of will get that point from the government, but I still don't think that impacts whether they're alive or it's posthumous. You get me? I don't think it matters. Renee Simmons says, why only when they have passed? Most would prefer to be honored while they are alive and know that they have been recognized for their life achievements to the country. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. I mean, I think it's crazy based on what we're reading, because whether they're recognized alive or posthumously, if you find out something years later, you can always take it from them, right? You can retract, you can subtract it, right? So I don't know how I feel about this. And again, keep your responses coming, because hopefully the minister's tuned in or someone from the ministry where they can help us make sense of it. Again, I do understand that over the years, they have taken honors back from people, but the same way you can award someone while they're alive, if you find something out years later, you can take it away from them. It happens regularly. All right. Suzanne Ingham says, exactly, Hamel Jamal. Why is this taking up time in the House, especially at this time? Heroes should be honored when alive. It does appear to be directed at Sir John. He is given and given. Sheesh. What is really going on here for government to suddenly change this? I do wonder. Charles H. Jeffers II, he says, now that it has been made public, I think we should voice our displeasure with that part of the bill. Removal after an investigation is fine. Yeah, I agree, Charles. I think I don't think this is of public interest where the general public cares enough with all that's going on. But since it's been made public, people let them know how you feel about it. No, let's eliminate. Let's remove Sir John from the conversation because people are going to have their opinions based on politics and the like. Let's say it was another person we wanted to honor, maybe a Florence Maxwell or Kathy Duffy, right? Maybe a Sean Goder or Larry Marshall Sr. Let's just say it's a person we want to recognize today as a national hero. Are we seriously going to say, no, well, only posthumous? That's ludicrous. Do people come more in? Why is it so much easier for us to show gratitude when someone's no longer here? Seriously, why does that seem so much easier? I don't get it, audience. I honestly don't get it. What are your thoughts, though, audience? Any more? What are your thoughts on not recognizing and honoring our living heroes? What are your thoughts on that? Let us keep them coming. Keep them coming. Let us know what your thoughts are on. This is an interesting one. What are your thoughts on this? Because as I go back to look at this story, I would have loved to have seen Dame Lewis recognized prior to her death in particular, which I think she was recognized as the Bermuda's first national hero the year after her death. But the idea, I think I need to understand why posthumous, like why when someone's no longer here. I don't think I'm getting any of that. I'm not getting any of that. Yeah, Sancha Durham, she's asking, what's the logic behind it? That's what I'm trying to understand, Sancha. It seems personal. And again, maybe it's not. Right? Because, we got to put ourselves in position and say, you know what? Maybe it's protecting the integrity of our national heroes, right? Maybe it's protecting the integrity. But again, if you're protecting the integrity, even if you award someone posthumously, you can still take it away from them. You can remove them. Look what happened in the U.S. after the George Floyd protests and the Black Lives Matter protests. The buildings that were renamed. Look what happened to Diddy recently. New York took back its key to the city. Like, I don't think that's a good enough excuse to not award people while they're living. I think if anything, an audience, by a show of hands, are you in favor? Yes, you're in favor of honoring people while they're living. No, you're not in favor. Yes or no? Yes, you're in favor of honoring people as national heroes while they're living, or no, you're not in favor of honoring people while they're living. What? Yes or no? Just a quick yes or no to that. Are you in favor? Yes or no? On Instagram, sorry, Merrick's 9194 says, funny, this only comes up after his rerun for a seat. Speaking of Sir John. Ty Jackie says yes. Merrick's 9194 on Instagram says yes. So they'd be in favor of, yeah. And we've got yes, WKD Lama, Suzanne Ingham, yes. Kathy Ann Painter, yes. Wild Child Gibbons says yes, in favor. NTS says yes. Headley Swan says yes. Manuela John says yes. Pamela Wade says yes. Jackie Eve says yes. Renee Simmons says yes. Sherilyn Johnson says yes. Marquita says yes. Give me my flowers now so I can enjoy them. So if the ministry is tuned in, right, there's been a consensus on the Daily Hour that they believe that we should leave the opportunity for people to be recognized while they're living. Leave that there. Michael Daniels says, is that designation the only way we can honor the people who we deem as worthy? It shouldn't be, Michael Daniels. I mean, there's a lot of ways to honor people. I think the question here is not, just about honoring them. It's who's to say they're not going to say other ways to honor people? They have to be dead first. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the bigger issue right here. Recognizing people while they're here. It's not about that specific way versus another. Renee Simmons says it's even more stupid to make it law. Why? Where did this concept come from? Kathy Ann Painter says this keeps the country's pattern of being reactive as opposed to proactive. It seems very reactive. Again, I could be wrong. I'm just saying that's how it feels. Charles H. Jeffers II says it can't be personal. They said it wasn't in their press release. Sarcasm. Charles is on form. Let's bring Maya Palacio in for the Daily Hour news break. See what she's got for us. Don't forget, we're actually talking about another national hero today, Mary Prince, with our good friend Rashida Godwin on this show. I'm intrigued to find out what she thinks of this as well. Had we had national heroes many years ago when we were in primary school or before we came along, I'm sure we would have learned about Mary Prince at some point in our schooling, because I didn't learn about Mary Prince until I was an adult. So anyway, let's bring Maya Palacio in for the Daily Hour news break, and we've got Rashida Godwin after that.
Good morning. Good morning.
Greetings, MP. How you doing?
Interesting conversation indeed today. I'm feeling okay.
Okay. I'm glad you're feeling okay. Well, MP, look, I don't know which way you're gonna go on this, but what are your thoughts? I mean, the whole idea of changing this to only honor people after they perished. I mean, I've lost people. I wish I would have shown more love to them while they were here, because, we got complacent thinking that we have time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a crazy conversation to be having. I don't know. What's your opinion? If you want to share one, that is.
Yes, if I want to show it. Okay, so my personal opinion is that, you know what, I think we should honor people while they're still here. I don't know if that was something that was taught to me by my mother or whoever, but like I do feel it's necessary to honor those when they're here, so they know. And if there is going to be, though, in this law, some criteria where it could be taken away, then okay, just let us know what it is and what that criteria needs to be, so that that's clear and evident as to why someone gets something taken away. But I did want to bring back some context to this story that we're talking about that actually happened a little bit earlier. People might know about it, but on the Premier's concert, there was an earlier report from Sir John Swan, actually from the Gazette, and it read, I'm going to read it off to you guys here. But he said in a statement to the Gazette that Sir John Swan has said he felt insulted at a recent celebration of the island's national heroes, claiming that he was deliberately snubbed and treated like an afterthought by event organizers. Now, down in the article, it went on to say that earlier this year, the 89-year-old launched his political career by standing as an independent candidate in the Smiths North by-election, finishing second to Robert King. Now, Sir John said, quote, "What this is saying is if you do anything against the government, then you'll suffer the consequences. This is purely a consequential act against the independent MP movement that has rattled the PLP." Now, referring to his criticism of the full CARICOM membership, Sir John said, "They've said that I was uninformed and uneducated and a wannabe national hero because I took a position saying that this is not the time to go to CARICOM, and if we do, we should have a referendum." Now, from the Deputy Premier, there was an immediate action. That statement was made that upset a lot of people in the community when they made that statement. Now, this is still coming from Sir John Swan. He says, "What you're now seeing ever since I started this independent political movement is another reaction saying, yes, we don't think much of you being a national hero, and you're not really fitting in with the rest of us." And there's more to that. Yeah, there's more to that. That was posted on July 5th on the Gazette. And then immediately after, there was a response from the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, and the spokesperson from there said, quote, "Totally confused by the characterization." He continued saying, "On the night, Sir John was delighted. He hugged and kissed the organizers after the show. We know Sir John well in the department, and believe me, if he was unhappy, he would have said so there and then, as he has done so in the past when he has felt we haven't gotten it right." And they continue on by saying that they're just confused as to where the statement came from and why he feels that way. Now, I will also say that I
Hmm.
spoke to people who were actually at the Premier's concert, and the main thing that we got from there is that there wasn't a lot of people at all in attendance. It is a free event to the public, and it just seemed like no one was necessarily there. And so John went on to actually state that the event, which normally has a lot of live entertainment, didn't really have a lot of live entertainment, and a lot of it was videos as well. So things have definitely changed within what the
Hmm.
Premier's concert looked like before.
Interesting. I don't know, folks. Seems like, you know, it seems political, but that's my opinion. I'll leave it at that.
We'll definitely stay tuned to it as things unfold a lot more. But
Yeah.
again, to know more, you could also speak to MPs how you feel about it as well, about this new change.
But
Um,
this is, and want to share this comment because this is why I'm looking forward to the conversation with Rashida today, because she often speaks about this in the comments about one of the solutions to our social ills is connecting young people to the history, right? And Rosalind Famous says, "Heaven living heroes helps make our heritage relevant to young people." You know what I like about this? I think our audience is so aligned and understanding the importance of the conversations we have. My hope is that it really, you all carry these conversations and these feelings to your family, your friends, your colleagues. And I say that not to get more likes or all that nonsense on social media, but to ensure that we're not just talking in circles, that this is going somewhere.
mm,
Because to me, I think this is relevant. And again, it's not, Rashida says it often, and we'll probably talk about it today, but to understand the connection to history and the root causes of social ills, come on.
yeah, this is exceedingly true, and I think someone said in the comments about does this have to be the only way that we honor these people as
Mhm.
well. So that's another thought process too of getting it out in a different fashion and different light by
Mhm.
some other means other than waiting on government to announce. But
Mhm.
it's yeah, and knowing that some people are around when you're around makes a huge difference. A lot of the things that most of these national heroes did were in their younger ages as well.
Mhm.
It's so important for young people to see that someone who is literally their age or close to it has done incredible things, like
Mhm.
has made these incredible movements, so they feel also recognized and seen within what their capabilities are. See it
Yeah.
and be it. That is, it's
Yeah.
true. So
Have you even started your news break yet?
that was a bit of it. Good morning,
No,
good morning,
no,
everyone.
no, no. I know obvious, because it feels like we're co-hosting. You're staying for the rest of the show.
Good morning, everyone. This is your daily hour news break brought to you by the great people at People's Pharmacy. Now, I just want to continue on from yesterday's news because the community still awaits more updates as well as to the tragedy that happened with the four people who were found dead in Frizzle's Hill in a residence in a home. Now, just a reminder, the police are working thoroughly in this investigation, but again, they need the community to tell them what they know, say something, anything, even if you think it might be insignificant to the events. And this isn't case for all things, but particularly as we focus our attention on this latest tragedy, please, if you
Mm,
know something, say something.
yeah, for sure. And I just want to say, if you know something, say something to the right people,
Mhm.
not the gossipy stuff. Just saying.
Indeed. Now, in other news, though, yesterday, Bermudians can now take a step into the future almost as the Ministry of Transport launched the ShoreLink app for Bermuda's public transportation. Here's a little bit here. So I went ahead and I downloaded the app, but some key features of the app say it's a digital ticketing. Passengers can purchase, store, use fares on their mobile devices. Digital tickets can be bought through the app, and passenger display of the tickets and devices on bus operations on ferry when they board. Now, fare type operations can identify the fare type. You just have to go in. This is a little bit of what the fare type actually looks like. The price cost for a 2-day pass, there you see it's $31.50. A 3-day pass, there's $44, and so on and so forth. I believe a full month pass is about $69. You can see it there. They also stated that there is no price increase, so the app fares remain the same as the current fare prices and no paper transfer. So digital tickets eliminate the need for paper transfers with validation times, allowing ample transfer time as well. So that's the new ShoreLink app. It is out right now, and they hope to have some future app enhancements with like real-time information that will allow public transportation users to see the arrival and locations of buses and ferries in real time, which is something I think I've mentioned here that I've seen like in other countries have, which is really great to have. And moreover, into that, they also mentioned that Google Maps now incorporates, having the Shorelink app, and you can actually see the routes of buses and ferries. So again, just a little showing here from Somerset Village to Botanical Gardens. Couldn't do this before, but now you can. You could actually see how long it takes by a car and then by the bus, and also lets you know like what buses you should be catching in order to get there. Now, those who have traveled, been away, they've seen this in other places, particularly in Canada is where I've seen it the most because that's where I normally come to visit. But now it's here in Bermuda. Another example here, Somerset Village to St. George's, showing that it does have the ferry route there now as well. So you can actually see the distances of when, you're going to get there and when things are going to be, available for you to catch the public transportation to these locations.
Welcome to the 21st century Bermuda. No, good stuff. I mean, obviously, we delivered you Shorelink. That's coming. It's an election. That's coming.
Indeed, but I mean, it's been years. I feel like I've said on this show that even just having the Google Maps thing would be so helpful. So it's great to see that for sure, and I hope people utilize it, especially getting around the island. Now, in your sports-related news, you would have heard there was an Olympic press conference yesterday, and basically we announced the final 8 who are going to be the official 8 athletes who will be representing Bermuda at the Olympic Games. Now, here's a short statement from Peter Dune from the Olympic Association. He's the president.
As a small country competing on the world sporting stage, we're fortunate to have a team of this size and depth of talent. On behalf of the BOA and the members of our executive board, we appreciate the deep commitment of each of these athletes and look forward to the entire community of Bermuda supporting all of them in Paris.
So those who may not remember the names, it's Adriana Penraddock, it's Da Alazade, Tyler Smith, Erica Hawley, Dame Flora Duffy, who's coming in for her 5th Olympic Games, Janai Parent-Chief, and then Jack and Emma Harvey as well, the 2 sibling duo who'll be heading off to the Olympic Games.
Yeah, I didn't make it this year, but congratulations to all my teammates who are going to hold it down for me.
Yes, and courtesy, thank you, Burn News, for that footage as well that we were able to share for you guys. And then closing up today with the weather, if you gotta ride a bike, please don't. Please try not to, because it's looking horrible out there. It's going to be some long sunny spells emerging, but a chance of early rogue showers, so it might get really bad at one point. So if you're on a bike, make sure you pull over, have your raincoat, something, so you stay safe and protected out there on the roads. Again, we have a high of 85 degrees, so it's going to be high humidity today.
All righty. Thank you so much for that, Maya. Maya, today, it's Fashion Day. Yeah, Fashion Day offers anyone and everyone the opportunity to wear what they like, whether serious or playful, and express themselves however they choose. I don't know, because there's some jobs with some strict rules, but here's what you can do for Fashion Day. You can go shopping for the latest fashions, subscribe to Fashion Magazine, check out Weird and Funny Fashions Day. Maya, tell them what your favorite kind of fashion is.
Thrifting. Whatever you're gonna do today, thrift. Try to thrift if you can. I am a huge advocate for like sustainable clothes, but also thrifting is like one of my favorite things to do. And you find amazing pieces, something new, you stand out, thrift.
Well, okay, thrifting. Audience, what's your favorite? What's your thing for fashion? You know what I like? I have to have stylish sunglasses because my eyes are very sensitive to light. So me wearing sunglasses is not just for style, but I'm like, since I have to wear them, I might as well, get some that, are pretty stylish. So that's what I would say when it comes to style. I've got to have a good, sunglass on me. Sancho Durham says, a reason to shop. Thank you, Jamal. We've got to send our sizes. We have to send her our sizes. Yeah, it's shopping day, folks. If you have a couple dollars, go put some money in your economy. Charles says, before you go, my 3 triathletes is incredible, especially with one of them being the defending gold medalist. Absolutely.
It's the first time ever we've had this many triathletes. And just to put that on perspective, Canada also has just 3 triathletes too going to these games. So the fact that we're able to qualify as much as such a huge country,
what's their population in Canada, like 30 million?
I don't know off the top of my head, but way bigger than us. And I think that's quite common for some other large countries as well. But we're just like really up there with the triathletes in this Olympic Games. So that's going to be an exciting one. And I think most of the calendar events are already out and available to the public. I want to say there's like the 27th or 28th of July, but I will confirm for that as the days go on. But I know it's really, really early for the
So I did get a question last night. When is the Olympics opening ceremony? Is it this 26th of July?
Yes.
Okay. All right. 26th of July. Because people are asking. I'm like, Google? Before you go, did you catch the first episode of Bermuda Trivia last night?
Yes, I did.
Oh, yeah. Did you know any of the answers?
I knew the second one. I slipped up on the first one, funny enough, but I knew the second one. And then the third one, I was like, look, Karen said it's the way that you got that answer. I was screaming. I'm not even gonna lie, because I was just like, how you know it was 1491? Now I remember it. Now I'm never gonna forget it. But I was just like, wow.
You know how she knew the answer?
How?
I think that's a question in Bermuda Trivia, the card game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If she has the game she started, she'd probably.
I had the cup match version too, but it's back home in my mom's place.
Yeah.
Let her keep it, but I was like, I should have kept it.
So you'd be a contestant on Bermuda Trivia one day if you were allowed?
I don't like getting things wrong. I would be studying. I don't like that.
So many chickens out there. All right, Chicken Maya. We'll see you later. Maya Palacio is a chicken. That's what we used to do.
I'm gonna keep that. Just so you know.
Wow, seriously. Bye, Maya. All right, folks, don't go anywhere. We've got Rashida Godwin coming up after this. Stick with us. 2 minutes, 27 seconds.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
It took 14 days to build your business plan. 6 months to build the courage to leave your day job. 3 weeks to find the perfect location. It took 10 days to outfit your space just right. And 1 day before your first client walked in the door. All totaled, it took you a full year to get your business operational. And this is just the beginning. To the entrepreneurs, the risk takers, the people that shape our economic community, we salute you and are here for you every step of the way. BEDC, providing knowledgeable, progressive, professional, and innovative support to Bermuda businesses.
Summer is almost here. Dive into the season with dog floats and dog pools. Enjoy 20% off West Paul's dog floating toys and shop our life jackets for safety in the water this summer. Get all your summer needs before the holidays and events begin. Don't forget to stock up on poo bags and check out Dicky Bags, the poo bag holder that locks in the smell until you can dispose of it. Remember, even dogs need sunblock, so visit Noah's Ark today, Bermuda's most trusted animal supply store for all your summer essentials, and ask us about our rewards program.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Big Show. Jamel Hartman here. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Without further ado, let's bring in our guest for the day. We have Rashida Godwin from Titan Tours. Always a pleasure. Let's give her a warm TDH welcome, folks. Calm down. I'm sorry, Rashida, I'm excited to see you today. How are you?
Good, thanks. Good morning, Mal. Morning.
Well, you were kind of quiet today. I thought you would have been involved in the conversation.
I did, yeah. I'm still working. I have my staff out there working, and they're constantly sending me messages. And then you hear my dog in the back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he likes us, but
He
we're,
does.
we're good. But look, before we jump into it, we had a discussion this morning, and I think it's only right, speaking to a person like you who really studies the history and shares the history, and helps people through it. What are your thoughts on the government considering making the National Hero awarding or recognition or honorees posthumous?
It's such a broad answer behind that. You know what I mean? For me, even just like you said, doing the history and stuff like that. What a country divided, right? Politics don't help. I just think when it comes to national heroes, just like I tell folks on my tours, when we want to keep something, or we want to keep something going, or keep change, that's up to the people. The people have really got to get into the idea of organizing themselves. But at the same time, we're got to learn how to reconcile our past. Until we reconcile our past differences, with so many groups of people here, blacks, whites, Portuguese, different things like that, we're never all going to agree who should be a national hero lots of times, but we have to reconcile our past, to be able to move forward. We have to educate the people. Education is really important. Stop parroting. We do a lot of parroting on this island, and we're gotta stop. Stop saying what somebody said. Go do your own research and find out for yourself. And I believe, because what happens for me on lots of tours too, when we get to monuments, even such as like Mary Prince, somebody will say, well, I don't like how the government did the park out here. I don't like the signage out here. And then I say, well, as the people should organize and probably put up something together themselves of what you like, and then maybe go to the government with it, or you just do the research or the work that needs to be done so that our children can have something better. So I put it back on ourselves. We have to remember the government too. They're supposed to be working for us, not the other way around. But it seems like we all get too comfortable and we just let them dictate to us however they're going to dictate going forward. But as the people, we got to stand up, we got to fight. That's all in the history right there. Our people it was continuous. We never stopped fighting.
And once you get what you desired in one space, you fight for the next, right?
You fight.
Yeah, you fight. And I agree with you. I mean, you saw the answers based on this audience this morning. Everyone believes that people should be recognized while they're living. Well, I say it all the time. Now, take that to the people who are making these decisions, if you believe that. So I agree with you, Rashida. I absolutely, well, I agree with you. We align in many ways. Now, for those who don't know, just remind people a bit about Titan Tours and some of the things that people experience when riding with Titan Tours.
Titan, the company is Titan Express, Titan Tours. We have the tour buses. Our buses have the beautiful pictures on them, beautiful Bermuda pictures by Bermudian artists. And many of the artists, they just freak out when they see the pictures on the buses, and the family too. So it is really nice. We have, a pretty good fleet of buses. We have about 7 buses. We transport large groups of people, so we do a lot of group work around this time. We are really busy, pretty much working from 7 in the morning to 7 in the evening and the weekends. Our focus most of the time is mostly like overseas people, cruise ships. We do cruise ship tours, destination weddings. But then on the side of the business, I also have the African diaspora tours that I offer as well too, and I do it mostly around in February, Black History Month. A lot of people want to do it then, and then it comes back up again around Emancipation time, which I thought the Mary Prince tour. That one's really popular.
Indeed. Thank you for that. And speaking of Mary Prince, as you do these tours, right? Why is Mary Prince such a significant figure in history? And what inspired you to actually want to share what you've learned with others?
Again, it was, Mary Prince herself, even me sharing Mary Prince, again, that was based on people organizing. And just to give a backstory of that was, I loved history. As you know, my uncle too, my uncle Philip, he used to run the visitor service center in St. George's. He loved a lot of history as well too. And so I had read Mary Prince's book. I was doing the African diaspora tours, but taking people on other sites of the African diaspora here in Bermuda, different spots. And then Community and Cultural Affairs, actually, Dr. Kim Desmond Robertson, she reached out to me because, she really wanted to put a lot more focus, of people to know the story of Mary Prince. And even with Dr. Clarence Maxwell, he actually wrote pretty much the tour for Mary Prince. I tell people I didn't write the tour for Mary Prince. He pretty much wrote it up, and then we went out as a group together with a few other people, and just worked on how we're gonna put this tour together. They were in the back, and they pretty much pushed me out to the front. Even Minister Levita Fogo as well too was involved in it. She was very passionate about Mary Prince, and she is as well too. And so it was people coming together to really realizing that even as Bermuda in our history, that it may not be taught in these schools, but we want to allow people to have the opportunity to come out with their families and learn about a history that's never been shared. It never talked about on island. I was just learning pretty much about Mary Prince myself, and her story is very significant to Emancipation Cop Match. Her story was actually read and given to Britain's Parliament. And at the time, her story was used to assist with Britain's Parliament to start the move towards abolishment of enslavement throughout the British colonies.
And even additionally to that, right? Why is it, you mentioned this, we didn't learn this in school.
Yeah.
Why is sharing the story of Mary Prince so important for, not just Bermudians and our community, but even as far as you have a lot of visitors in understanding, the foundations of Bermuda. Why is it so important?
The story is really important because her story, many of the things that Mary Prince shares of the horrific of, things that she had to deal with being an enslaved person, an enslaved Black woman, not just here in Bermuda, but throughout Britain's colonies, and just the horrendousness that took place and the trauma that she experienced, not just for herself, but her mother, her father, different people. She shares these stories, and it's still stories of the trauma that you could see that's even played out today, different actions. So nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. We've got to stop referring and thinking things, that happened in the past, and removing ourselves from the story of Mary Prince. It's happening today. Sad to say, it happened the other day. We still have so much trauma in our community, and lots of times we don't even understand where this trauma comes from. People, please stop saying that we have generational curses. We don't have generational curses, okay? What we have is intergenerational trauma that needs to be reconciled. And then once we begin to understand what happened in the past, that happened to us Black people, even as a group of people, because it happened as us communally, then we go out and also find the tools to begin to heal as a community.
Thank you for that. Audience, if you have any questions or comments for Rashida, please send them through. So you're doing the tours, right? What will people who attend these tours, what will they leave with as far as new information as it relates to Mary Prince?
They will leave with a lot of information. Like I said, for most people, this is the first time hearing it. Some people cry. It's not an easy tour. It's not. It's not, we're going to go out and smell the flowers. It's not that. At all. You've been on it now. It's a tour that makes us really look in the mirror and look at us looking at the mirror, even as a reflection to ourselves. For a lot of people, when we actually try to hold ourselves accountable, that's scary. It's even a scary thought. And that's what the Mary Prince is. The Mary Prince tour itself is a reflection of ourselves. And how do you see yourself today? How do we see these stories playing out today? And we know. And lots of times when people bring their children onto it, the children pinpoint it right away. You know, and the children start to even say, oh, well, we got to make changes because a lot of these things are still here today, even how we treat each other, how we behave, you know. So it's not a flowery tour. It's a difficult tour. But like I said, at the end of the day, we all love to celebrate the Cup Match holiday, right? We love to get into Somerset and George's, the Cup Match. Everything is great about that. But what happened to create this story?
Yeah.
And that's Mary Prince.
Yeah. And, you know, something the government got right is changing the name of the holiday. And at least with that, it's just a name. Some people say just a day, but it'll get people talking and asking questions is the hope. But from a personal perspective, through learning and doing these tours, who has Mary Prince become to you?
Mary Prince very much has come to. She's a hero. I just couldn't imagine, even though I shared the story today, even I shared the story today, and people, even in my family, different people are saying, why are you guys, why do you want to talk about that for? That happened in the past. And I have to explain to them, but sometimes I didn't even explain because I say, look, I really just didn't even have the time to unpack it. If you can't understand, you know, these type of stories, then, you know, it's just too much to unpack. But we just couldn't imagine what she had to deal with during that time when I'm still dealing with people thinking that that's something that happened in the past. Why are we talking about it today? Let's just go Cup Match and have a good time. And then, as I share all the time with folks, we go Cup Match, we have a good time. Once the soberness comes back to us after a while, going into the drunkenness, then we're back frustrated and angry and upset all over again. It's insanity. So until we break out of this cycle of insanity, and then we're going to keep going around, you know, because we don't want to understand the past or what happened, so we could bring it into how we need to move forward into the future.
Yeah. Speaking of cycle of insanity, we've had some very sad times in our community recently. What role does knowing our history play as far as assessing the root causes of our social ills?
The history plays a huge role because I see it even lots of times with young people is that, well, for instance, one law I always share with a lot of my high school students is when I take them out, I say, you know, guys, there was a law that passed in 1622, 1623. It was called an act to restrain the insolences of the Negroes. This act was one of the first enslavement laws put into place. And the act was based on restriction of movement of the enslaved people throughout Bermuda. So enslaved people were not allowed to move within the various parishes. And also on top of that, they were not allowed to make any money based on their labor. So they couldn't make any money and they were not allowed to move in the parishes. And of course, my young men, they were like, oh my God, Miss Godwin, we're doing that to each other right now.
Yeah.
And I said, see, so because you don't understand that, I said, and so it was done to us, and now we because we're underneath a colony, and I explained to them, because we're in a colonized environment, what happens is we internalize that behavior. So then we have internalized what you call internalized racism, and that's why we do it to each other. So I see the light bulbs go off, and a lot of them are like, I can't believe we're doing that to each other. And that was a law. I say, yeah, guys, that was actual laws. And now you're doing it to each other, saying, oh, you can't go to this parish. Who are you? You're not from this parish. And so we're doing it to each other. So until we begin to really dissect and understand what happened in the past, then like I said, it's going to be difficult, or we really wouldn't move towards the future. And we would end up being a people that I said to say that just die out. And we're just going to be a story told of a people.
Yeah. Wow. I mean,
yeah.
That's quite it. Yeah. I mean, audience, when you think of it like that, I mean, you know, we're living on a time where you see black people doing to each other what they were fighting so others went to us as a race, right? It's troubling. Audience, if you have any questions or comments for Rashida, send them through. Mark Arthur C. Phillips, do you feel that historical landmark are properly maintained?
Not no. And that goes around for all of us. Even with the trust, they have difficulties with getting the groups to maintain different properties, and it costs money. It costs money, it could get expensive. And, when it comes to the history and different things, history, again, is like arts and culture. Money doesn't really get filtered into it. And again, it's about the people organizing as well, too. So, yeah, no, we don't, we don't. Yeah.
All right. Renee Simmons is asking, does your tour include the Earl Cox Plantation in Devonshire? There's a lot of history about this area and historical facts of others that came from that plantation.
Yeah, I've spoken to Mr. Cox. I've been to the house. He's waiting for me to come by the house again with a group of tour people. But we do talk about the family's own Mary Prince, and the Cox family shared a lot of history, and they even confirmed that the Mary Prince story is true, absolutely true. And they even said, "Didn't let nobody tell you that the story is not true," because her mother was actually housed pretty much between the Coxes and the Watlingtons were a really close family. Well, all of them were really close, and Mary Prince's mother Sue was housed with the Watlingtons for a period of time, and that's all part of the Cox plantation, all that part of Devonshire as well too. So yeah, they're all connected. It's not one family, it's all connected.
Reparations. Charles H. Jeffs II, he's asking, what are Rashida's thoughts on decolonization?
What we have to learn how to decolonize ourselves. I'm actually doing a talk at the library, a lunch and learn tomorrow. If anybody wants to come out, it's only a quick little half an hour talk on decolonization, but based on terminology. And yeah, in order to move forward, it starts with education. Even Dr. Palu said that. Dr. Palu Kamarka-Fago, I encourage people to purchase his book. His book is called Me One. It still could be found at the Browning Company. And even Dr. Kitty Swan has his book as well, too, called Palu's Diaspora. I encourage people to read these books because he is a Bermudian, a Black Bermudian. And he's awesome, and he talks a lot about decolonization too, but it starts with educating people. We have to educate ourselves because many of us, what's funny, one of the first questions I always ask when I give talks lots of times, and it ends up being funny. I gave it even in front of a group of white people the other day, and I said, are you guys aware that we live in a colony? And I said, by raise of hands, and I had a group of maybe 50 people, only about 20 of them put up their hand. And I just said, yeah, it's great because we love being in a colony, right? It's like fish in water.
Yeah.
And we laughed about it. It was
it's weird. It's weird. Charles H. Jeffs II just asking what time the lecture tomorrow at the library.
It's at 1:00 at the National Library at 1:00. It's just from 1 to 1:30.
And real quickly, Rashida, your tours have sold out.
The tours are sold out.
But how can people remain in touch, stay aware of what's going on so that they don't miss out on your next tours?
Yeah, they could contact me also at info@titantoursbermuda.com. Sometimes I do have one or two last minute cancellations from folks, because things happen. So they could still contact me at info@titantoursbermuda.com for to be put on the list. I'll still put you on the list. But I do have a walk coming up that I'm helping to organize. We did the walk on Sunday, but we're doing the walk on Saturday. It's called the Emancipation Cup Match Walkabout in Somerset with the Friends of Sands and a few people. I'll encourage folks to come out to that on Saturday, even though it starts 8:00 in the morning. Please come out. We have some singers. I put some singers together, and they're phenomenal. They're bringing out the history of emancipation and cop match and how we even came to play the game of cop match, even after the story of Mary Prince. So that's a great way to come out. We visit a few spots, even a few of the singers' houses in Somerset, and then we finish up at the Somerset Cricket Club. And it's a lot of information being shared. And so again, so that the cup match itself has much more of a historical context to it and not just, the game and the colors and all that. But also if folks come out, please wear your cup match colors,
Yeah, St. George's Henley. Best tour ever. I highly recommend all of them. Well, Rashida mentioned earlier that I'd done the Mary Prince, honestly, and spoke about how people felt. I loved the way the people I went on it with felt. Some of them were angry, some of them were motivated, inspired. I think it's one of those things that you experience and you realize that this is something that could have helped improve your life if you knew about this before. I completely understand the importance of history and its connection to our social ills. And I love that example that you gave. So my hope is that people continue to support what you're doing, and you don't get tired of giving it to people, because this is definitely needed. I mean, our history skipped not a generation, but generations. And that was not by accident. So
Nope.
thank you all for what you do. And again, Rashida, please stay a friend of the show. Keep us posted if there's anything that comes up that we can make sure our audience needs to know.
Yeah, and I could just share just one last thing is that, like you said, generations have missed this history. It's been done with much deliberate and intent. But that's for the people to really figure that out. The tours themselves, like I tell people, because I get a few, but it's not, you will get angry, yes. Yeah. But like you said, you have to, it's really about, I believe we're at the point of becoming aware and having an awareness of what happened. It's not about hating even another group of people. You don't have any time for that. In order for us to be better people, we have to understand what happened in the past to be able to move forward.
For sure.
So awareness is key
at
this point. Sure. Yeah, to move forward.
And thank you for what you're doing, Rashida. We'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, great. Thank you too.
Thanks, Rashida Godwin, folks. If you appreciated that conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Keep these conversations going. And she did say that she does have some people who drop out sometimes. So if you're interested, check them out. We're going to take a quick break, 55 seconds. We'll be back to see who's going to be eligible for this week's prize. Stick with us.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy. Thanks again to Rashida Godwin for coming on. Again, folks, if you appreciated the conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Bermuda Trivia, the game show, launched live last night. You can watch it at your leisure on bcgtv.com. See if last night's contestant was victorious. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, audience, are you ready? It's history today. So remember when. All right. Not a Bermuda trivia question, but hopefully you will get it. All right, here we go. First person to answer correctly on my screen is eligible. What Austrian-American actor served as the 38th governor of California in the 2000s? Wow, nobody got it. Okay, nobody got it. That is a first. Okay. Few of you got it. But I was seeing if you, the trick to this was to see if anyone could spell it right. Rosalind Famous said it first, and she didn't spell his last name right. Schwarzenegger, Renee Simmons, everyone Did anyone get his name right? Hold on. I think Camila Weeks got his name right. That was the trick in trying to get you all to spell the name correctly. Didn't you love that one? But we'll drop Rosalind because she had it first. So Rosalind, you'll go in this week's draw on Friday. But check you all out. Check you all out. You'll try your best. And I don't think any of you spelled it right except I think Weeks. Camila Weeks spelled it right. Yeah, she spelled it right here. Sherilyn Johnson just went Arnold, right? Charles H. Jeffs II said Arnold S. Yeah, I'm with you all. I would have Kathy Rogers, Arnold S. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta go easy is better than hard. All right, folks, let's wrap it up. Thanks again to everyone's contribution. As I said earlier, the idea of recognizing people while they're living is one of the greatest signs of love and respect for their contributions. Why wait till they're no longer here to receive it from you, right? So hopefully the ministry rethinks, this piece of legislation and listens to the people, and hopefully the people have something to say about it. As far as the conversation with Rashida, grateful. Again, I wasn't taught, I'm not sure if anyone else was, about a lot of the history that we're learning today, especially about Black people in Bermuda. So I appreciate the work that her and her partners and everyone at Titan Express are doing to keep us informed. But I hope that locals take advantage of it as well. I hope that you take advantage of attending these tours so that we too can learn to be, live together, love together, and grow together. I loved how she connected it with what young people said about, laws not allowing us to go to different parishes. And now we've kind of implemented these faux laws on ourselves. So grateful for her contribution. And again, hopefully, many of us attend these tours. All right, here's your daily inspiration for the day. No, hold on. I got one. It's only right that we do a Marcus Garvey one, right? So here's a good one first, audience. Quote, "Let us not try to be the best or worst of others, but let us make the effort to be the best of ourselves." End quote. And that's Marcus Mosiah Garvey. That's your daily inspiration for the day. All right, audience. Well, it is that time. So don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. I am out. Peace.